Okay, hi everyone. I thought I'd do a little sort of garden tour and then maybe talk about some things at the end, but I like to start off inside just in case it's too noisy when I get out to be able to hear me speaking. So, gonna have a look around. The garden is still an absolute tip and I haven't done anything on it yet. I'm still clearing out the greenhouse, to be honest. You'll see when I go out there. It's turned into a much bigger job than I imagined, so it's taken me a while, and the weather's not been good today, but we'll go out and have a look around, and it'll be a nice little sort of before and after sort of video, so we'll be able to see how it looks now, and then hopefully in the future it'll look all nice. Who knows? Anyway, we'll go out and have a look. Oh god, I'm locked in. And yeah, I'll talk about some things at the end of this video as well that are kind of interesting, I guess. Okay, so the decking, load of shit. I've got my Sunichi plant, which is actually looking alright. This is I remember when Pigsy sent me some plants last year. I put them all in here, and some of them grew, and I don't know if any of these are those plants. Like, I know these ones are just weeds, but the others, like this, I don't know what that is. If anyone knows. It feels kind of almost like a tobacco plant, a bit sticky. And this, I'm not sure, might be a weed, that one probably is. Yeah, my tomato plants need chucking. I'm basically making a big pile of things to throw, so yeah, garbage pile, trash heap. Also, what's this plant? I'm intrigued by it. I was going to chuck this out, an old plant pot, but then I noticed this growing in it. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I don't know what plant it is, but I thought I'd leave it. It's got a little snail on the side. So yeah, clearing out the greenhouse. It's just the right pain in the arse, honestly. I didn't realise how much crap I had in there and how bad it was. So, God, it doesn't look like I've done anything, but I've been out here for ages. And the greenhouse itself is fallen to bits. You can see all the panels are sort of coming off, and I might just end up getting rid of this greenhouse altogether, just having a space here. There's a little pot down here. One of these containers at the bottom is absolutely full of water. It must have been rained into, and the water must have been getting in for God knows how long, and it's like full. So I dread to think what's in there. I think it's all gardening equipment. But anyway, this is all before and after. At one point I started taking all these bushes out a couple of years ago, and I never got around to finishing it because I got really ill, and I had this big hole left over. So what I've been doing is, as I've been taking pots out of here, is dumping the soil into here in an attempt to fill up the hole, because I want to have, basically there's a big ditch here, so that's my attempt to fill it up. It might work, who knows. Yep, overgrown stuff. There's I think this is a hawthorn here, which is quite cool. I actually might turn this into a hedge. You see along here there's a fence which is fallen down completely. I'm kind of tempted to just try and knock this bush over and turn it into a hedgerow. I don't know, I feel really bad about that fence because the next door neighbour's garden's dead nice, and we've just got this horrible fence and horrible overgrown garden just making it look bad. And then yeah, this is what I tried to turn into, like a wildflower meadow, and it just turned into a briar patch, I guess you'd call it. It's just overgrown with brambles. These flowers I quite like. These are sort of natural to the garden, they keep appearing. And there's some other ones up here that I can't remember what they are, but like there's actually some interesting plants in here. So these should flower, but it's about getting it looking nice and not like a patch of brambles, which it is at the minute. Up here I've got a disused picnic bench which is just fallen to bits. this was meant to be my carnivorous plant collection, which I've just let go to waste and trashed. This is back here. There's a kind of like a dead wood area. I kind of wanted an area like that, but it doesn't look very tidy. Maybe I should do something with it to tidy it up. Compost bin, and then the shed behind the shed, which is just a pile of junk. Yep. And then this side of the garden, which is just all overgrown as well. More compost bins, and just awful. Just, you know. There used to be, I think there used to be catnip growing along here, but I haven't seen it in ages. Maybe it'll come back up. This might be it, I don't know. Anyway, let's go back in. Little bird feeding area that I never fill up. And then, see in here, this is a bush that I was trying to get out, but there's a nice big, like, established rose bush in there with really nice vivid flowers. So I don't know what to do, whether to try and relocate that bush, that rose, or just cut around it, cut the bush out around it and just leave the rose and train it in some way. You know, I might make a nice arch for the garden, maybe, I don't know. Like an entrance to the garden, an archway with roses. That's an idea. And then up here, get this. Oh. Come on, can't get out of here, dandelion. These are all like all these succulents here were on display, like the centerpiece at our wedding party. So they've been in there, and the ones that survived the winter have survived. So all the ones that are left, they're a bit small at the minute, but they grow quite well and they survive. And yeah, this is some kind of wall climbing plant. It always gets these purple flowers all over it and attract a load of bees. That's probably my favourite bit of the garden. There's a little insect hotel. Anyway, that's pretty much the garden, how it looks now. It's got the stench of the depression all over it. You know, you can just see everywhere where I've just given up. You know, the fact that your garden reflects your mental state. I think hopefully this transformation will also transform me mentally in some way. That's what I'm hoping. And I've got some more thoughts about Hecate as well, because I've actually started painting the picture. I'll show you a little time lapse of that. It's like the triplicate goddess image. It's not finished, obviously. I tried a sort of slightly different technique for painting. I didn't really go with a particular image to copy, or I didn't try and make something definite looking. I tried to sort of, I'm trying to make the image form as if through a subconscious. I'm using like the image, typical image of the three-headed goddess. It's like three people stood back to back, pretty much. But yeah, the imagery has sort of come out of you know, I didn't want to just think, right, this is what she's going to look like, draw the face. I wanted to sort of see if it emerged through sort of expressive brushstrokes. So yeah, I'll continue with that. It's a kind of study in Hecate. And also I thought I did a bit of bibliomancy to sort of divine what plants I should grow on my last video, and I only did 2 books. I thought maybe I should do 3, like it seems more appropriate with Hecate being a goddess of the third. So I haven't really got another herbalism book, but I've got this, Rare and Unusual Plants. So I thought maybe this would be alright to use. We'll just do the usual. Look away. Okay, so, oh, it's a tree. It's Ochna, bird's eye bush. In the UK, it's treated as a patio or summer bedding plant. Okay, so Ochna. I've never heard of it before. There's our third plant. Also, here's another odd thing, right? I don't know what you think to this. Let me know. Basically, I didn't think anything about this yesterday when I was gardening. When I was clearing out my shed. It wasn't until a bit later on I was looking at some videos about Hecate, and there was a video talking about like signs that Hecate will give to people, and one of them was about dogs. And I thought there was something that happened yesterday that I didn't mention in the video because I didn't think anything of it. But that, like looking back, it's like a bit weird. Basically, I was in my shed. I suddenly heard a dog barking into the shed. Like I was in the shed with my back to the door, and right at the doorway I heard a dog barking in. It was like echoing into the shed, and it was loud enough to sound exactly like there was a dog stood at the doorway barking in, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I went, oh fucking hell, there's a dog, like next door's dog's got in. I turned around quick and there was nothing there, and I went out into the garden, looked around, there was no sign of a dog. Next door have got a dog, but it's a little dog. I think it's like a little Westie or something, or a little Scotty dog or something. And it's got a really, really weird bark. It sounds almost like a human going, "Hoop, hoop," like that. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, what the fuck's that noise? And I realised it was a dog barking. It doesn't bark like a normal dog, and this just sounded like a normal, like medium-sized dog. It didn't sound angry or anything, it just sounded like a dog barking. And it sounded like it was like I was convinced a dog had got into the garden and had run up to the shed and saw me in there and was stood at the doorway barking. Like that's what it sounded like, and I turned around immediately and there was nothing there. The only thing I can think of is the house next over. I've got a dog, and that's more of a medium, normal-sized dog, and it was barking, and maybe the way the sound reverberated into the metal shed sounded like it was stood at the doorway, but it was honestly really weird. And I remember like the hairs on the back of my neck stood up because it was like, fuck, what's that? There's a dog in the garden. Like it was just like a weird out of place feeling. So anyway, that's and that's apparently one of the signs of Hecate, is of a dog, mysterious dogs or something. So I was watching some more videos about it and about the subject, and I thought, fucking hell, that did happen in the shed. Like I didn't think of it at the time as being like anything weird, but now like I think back, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's weird? Do you think that's something, or do you think that's nothing? It could just be, like I say, the sound reverberating, but it did sound exactly like a dog in the doorway to my shed. And it was so weird, and I looked around, I went to the door immediately, and there was like nothing, no dog in the garden or anywhere. It was so odd. Anyway, that's a little aside, I guess. I want to do regular updates just to keep me motivated. I'm still getting through the phase of sorting out my garden. I want to get rid of all the trash in there, like make a few tip runs and just get it all organised before I start working on it, because I just feel like there's so much clutter and mess in the garden that it's creating like a barrier, like a mental barrier for me to actually starting to work on the garden almost. It's like, oh, there's all this to do, and then there's all this to do, and it's overwhelming me. So yeah, I'm still at the initial tidying phases, but there's a little update and a little weird story, I guess. So another thing that didn't occur to me yesterday was when I picked mint randomly out of a book. I actually had a mint plant growing on the windowsill, which is weird because like I'm not one for buying lots of fresh herbs or anything. I can't even remember why we bought it. We were at the supermarket and we saw a mint plant, and I'm like, oh, let's get that because we're going to cook something, and then we ended up not even using it. So I've got an entire mint plant not even being used. And hey, how synchronous, what's the word there? Synchronistic. Very odd. So what I've done, I'm going to try and expand this plant. I'm just not sure where to cut it. Maybe just above each node, or just below each node. I'm not really very good at taking cuttings. Anyway, I'm going to try and get 12 cuttings out of this. There we go, 12 cuttings. And a bit of mint left over to do something with, I don't know what. And then this plant's now looking a bit sorry, but hopefully I'll get 12 plants out of this, and then I can grow it in the garden and do some experiments with it. I don't know, but how fortuitous. And now I'm going to work out how to come across cucumber seeds or cucumber plants and whatever this is. Ochna. Alright, anyway, that'll do for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.